Hey, yeah, what's up? This Disciple Marshall Occurrence Rain back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-America all day, anti-Freemason all day, anti-gangstalk all day, anti-psychic all day, anti-telepath all day, anti-witchcraft all day, what else? All of this stuff in America. Yeah, so what this video basically is going to be about how can I be a traitor when I never held alliance to America? How can I be a traitor as a black man and I never held alliance with America ever in my life? Not substantially, I didn't make oaths in my heart. I didn't make oaths in my mind. I didn't make oaths in my soul like these American military people do and these so-called patriots of America do. I've never made those kind of oaths within myself to do anything for this country, to protect this country, to uphold this country, to call America to do something great, or to uh, supersede past other countries, or to be the greatest in the world, or any of that. I never had any of those agendas. So how can I be a traitor to something that I never held alliance to? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How can I be a traitor to something I never held alliance to? I ain't never held alliance to America. I never said I am so in love with America. I so love this country. I so love what this stands for. And freedom, it's no freedom here for black people. Not total freedom. So the freedom is 100% here for black people. So the freedom is 100% here for non-white people. So there really isn't 100% freedom. So the freedom that you boast of, especially military, that go all around the world and come back and talk about you don't know how good you got it. Are you sure about that for black people though? Are you sure you don't know how black people don't know how good they got it? Are you talking about white people? Because we don't have the same, I don't have the same freedoms. As a black person that you're boasting of. I don't have these freedoms. Look at it for what it is. Surveillance all around me. They got no proof of anything. Playing games with me like I'm something to play with, but they see I'm not. Look at it for what it is. What freedoms you talking about? I don't partake of those freedoms. Okay, so it wouldn't be in my value system to defend freedoms that I don't have. Okay, you got it? Good. Because all these patriots are really, let's break down who the patriots are in America. Let's break them down. Let's break them down. Let's break them down. I'm going to do a video about this too. Let's break down who the patriots are in America. The patriots are mostly dominantly white people that come from either military families or police families, people who defend this country, right? That's who the patriots are. That's who they are. They are the people that sometimes are racist. Also, it's a big portion of all these so-called patriots are either racist or they feel like other races should stay in their place and white people should be on top, dominating the country. So again, the other part of the patriots are either racist white people. They got flags. They got all kind of flags. That don't mean they ain't racist. Or it's the other white people who feel like other ethnicities should stay in their place and white people should be on top. Those are they subtly have that perspective. It's subtle, but it's there. It's not to the forefront maybe, but it's there though. It's in the subconscious of many of these so-called patriots. So there you have it. That's the patriots. That's the bulk of the patriots right there. That's 80% of the patriots right there. Then the rest of the black and Hispanic and Latino that work for the government, they work for the military, work for the police. Okay, but back to you, it being your job. That's why you're a patriot, because your job influenced you to be a patriot. That's a 7 owl. Yeah, your job influenced you to be a patriot. That's why you're a patriot. They doctrinized you with these patriot ideals of defending your country. That's why you're a patriot. You can't tell me what the real principles are for why you a patriot. You know why you shouldn't be a patriot? Because there's not true equality here in America. That's the first foundational reason you shouldn't be no patriot. Listen, these freedoms and all these rights and all this good stuff, so to speak, is not, non-white people cannot fully 100% partake of it. So you're a patriot of a country that does not let all ethnicities partake of the freedoms and the goods of this country. That's what I'm saying. That's what you're a patriot of. Inequality, all type of injustices. At the end of the day, you have to accept that you're a patriot of a country full of injustices. You're a patriot of a country that killed Martin Luther King Jr. You're a patriot of a country that assassinated Malcolm X. I don't care who did it. It was Americans. That's all we need to know. Whether they was black, whether they was white, I don't care what color they was. They were American. You are a patriot of a country that killed Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother while she was at church. I don't care who did it. It was an American. It was an American that killed Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother in a church. You don't tell me that was sent? What assassin is going to assassinate a person in a church with the whole congregation? Think about it now. Think about it now. A real mercenary, a real killer, a real assassin, would you go into a church with hundreds of witnesses to shoot somebody and expect it to live, and you expect it to live, or expect it not to be incarcerated? You wouldn't do it, would you? That's judicial suicide, you would say. Well, you're going to jail. You're going to prison. So how is it that Martin Luther King Jr.'s mother was shot and killed in a church, and the assassin knew he was going in front of all these witnesses? That was sent by the government. Why did Martin Luther King Jr. brother mysteriously wind up dead in a pool with his underwear on, and no one knows why? Martin Luther King Jr. brother was found in a pool, drowned. And I think I heard he was a fluent swimmer. And he had underwear on. What black man you know swim in a pool with underwear on? Black men don't swim in no pool with no underwear on. Not in any case. We don't swim in no black. I don't care how long ago it was. But black men don't swim in no pool with no underwear on. But the bottom line is, whatever the case may be, he was dead. His Martin Luther King Jr. brother died. His mother died, and he was died. You telling me that's all a coincidence? That's all the American government. And keep in mind, you're also a patriot that went to of a country, the American government, going to court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family and settling out of court for conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr. In December 1999. That's when they went to court. Something that most people don't even know. Most people do not even talk about the fact that Martin Luther King Jr.'s family went to court with the American government. Yes, the actual bloodline of Martin Luther King Jr. Yes. This was an official court date and court session. Yes. The Martin Luther King Jr. Family went to court with the American government. And settled out of court for conspiring, the American government settled out of court being guilty of conspiring against Martin Luther King Jr. Did you know this? This is what you're a patriot of. They settled out of court with Martin Luther King Jr.'s family and only gave his family $100. In 1999, when this country had millions and trillions of dollars, it wasn't like it was the 1800s. It was 1999. You know they had millions and trillions of dollars when these stars walking around here with millions of dollars in 1999. And they gave him $100 bill. They gave his family a $100 bill. Money able to fit into one bill. Money able to fit into one bill. You telling me that's not racist? That's a gesture that's racist. Like trading places when they betted on Eddie Murphy's life and traded $1 between each other. It's the same gesture. It's the same gesture. It's a racist gesture even in the end. Because Martin Luther King Jr. was part of defeating the white dream of white Americans overtaking America and having America for themselves. That's why they despised Martin Luther King Jr. You don't realize this. They had a blueprint of nothing but white people. And I got to do a video about this. They had a blueprint of nothing but white people. Okay, so you think they wanted you in the picture? After slavery, you think they wanted you in the picture? You think that these racist people wanted you here? Of course they didn't want you here. You think they wanted any non-white people here, period? Of course they didn't. So the real racism, listen to this, is fueled today by the fact that you destroyed their blueprint of an all-white America. You tell me what it is. Why can't you put your finger on it why they hate you so much? It's deeper than skin. Use common sense. How long they gonna hang on the fact that you black? That part. How long they gonna hang on the fact that you black and you got black skin? But yet they having sex with you at the same time. Yet they still having sex with your women. Yet they still having sex with your women. I mean your men. They using your men, your men's penis. These white women using your men's penis. That's all they doing. They're a part of the culture because they used to getting black penis. That's what it is. Half of these white girls, and no disrespect, but half of them is a part of the culture because of black penis. That's why it is. That's what influenced them to like hip hop and all of that. You telling me they wanted you, listen, you telling me they wanted you here? They did not want you here. They did not have you in plan. This explains it. They've been past the black thing. They've been past the black skin thing. They've been past all of that because at the end of the day, they're having sex with you. So they've been past that. The real racism, listen, the real racism today is because you destroyed their blueprint for a all white America. That's what it is. That's what the racism is now. And it's getting worse because, hear this part, because they're looking at all the things that's flourishing here, all the innovations, all the things that's happening here. And it comes back to the fact that this all could have been theirs. You see what I'm saying? And they were constantly reminded of it the more and more America progressed, that this could have all been theirs. So they're constantly reminded of it. Therefore, they're constantly racist. Okay? Like I said, half of these white girls, the half of them that's standing with black people, check them out. I want you to check them out. Half of them got black boyfriends. Oh yeah, we're gonna address this. Half of them got black boyfriends. It's no secret that black men are very endowed, right? It's no secret. Everybody knows this. Even if you didn't try to find it out, you found it out. Okay? This is what influenced many of these white women to be part of the culture, part of supporting black rights and all of this stuff. And that's why, and I'm gonna show you I'm gonna tell you how I know, because what are their real efforts talking to their counterparts, talking to their white families? How have all these white girls influenced their white families to support black causes and to bring black people out the ghetto? All these white women have sex with these black men. It ain't no real impact has happened really. Let's be 100 about it. Okay, of course a woman's gonna go with who has the biggest penises. Of course, that obviously, and he's pretty decent of a guy. He's in a country where he has injustices, so they sympathize with that. So you look like the best guy because you're the one that's being discriminated against. So you're going, as black men, people with good reasoning, they're going to see you as the best guy. That's part of it. But at the end of the day, we don't, this support that so-called white people have, and it's based on relational interactions with black people, it's nothing there. It's weak and frail. It's not influencing the white community, their white families. So I can see through that. I know somebody in my face talking about, well, we heard you. We heard you was talking funny against black people. White people talking now. I know you ain't in my face, but only because you getting black penis. I know, you may have grown to know certain things. You may have grown to understand certain things, but still foundationally, your real motivation is the fact that you're dating a black guy, isn't it? In other words, you're getting black penis, which influences you to be out here like you are. Well, black penis can do a lot of things. Okay? And that's the reason why you're really out here like you are. And still nothing is done. Okay, so I am a patriot. I am a patriot of God's kingdom. That's what I'm a patriot of. I'm a patriot of what is right over what is wrong. That's what I'm a patriot of. And I do not stick with America in her wrongs and at all costs. That's what you're doing. You stick at it. You are not a person of morals and justice. You are a person as a dark patriot that sticks with America at all costs. That's your decision. Meanwhile, like I said, as a black man, I have no reason to be a patriot of America. I have no real reasons to be a patriot of America. Show me the reasons why a black man should be a patriot of America. Show me why I should be wearing flags, which I found out from the Freemasons, the one that's got the stripes, that's the ones of war. All these flags you see that's around, those are war flags. Now, I found this out from a Freemason. Okay, see, I've been all around it all, man. That's what I'm saying. You thought I didn't. I've been around it all. So why should I wear flags, which is a sign of war in your community, which the war is against who? Who is it against? White people? You put it together. Who you think it's against? Okay? And like I said, a Freemason told me that the flag is a flag of war. This is the flags you see, the regular flag. That's a flag of war. That's wartime flag. That's why they got one next to me at the library, right? Well, I'm next right to the apartment that I'm in. They put me right here because it's a time of war. I know better. It's another one right down the street, 3 blocks from where I'm at. I know it's a time of war and you can't win. You cannot win. You can say whatever you say like we in high school. I don't care nothing about what you say. I don't care nothing about what you do. I'm a real man. I'm willing to go all the way. I'm willing to face you on the battlefield. I carry weapons everywhere I go. Keep that in mind. I'm never out here slipping. I'm never totally just slipping. Not for a long time. Not for a long time. So you got dark patriots that's going to defend America at all costs. That's what they're gonna do. That's just in their perspective. And listen to this part. These dark patriots are not dominantly black people or non-white people. They are white people who just gonna defend America because look, they don't really their foundation of standing with America doesn't have much to do with the morality of America. They don't stand with America because it's such a moral place. It's such a moral compass for the community, globally speaking. They stand with America just because it's listen, these dark patriots, they stand with America because it's a white country and they want to defend that white country. That's the 7th hour. Boom. Yeah, you defending it because it's a white country and you want to defend white people. You want to defend white cause. That's why Donald Trump was so important, because he represents the patriot, the white man patriot that just wants a white country and defends America because it's a white country. That's why his slogan was "Make America Great Again." That was all about taking the whole thing, the whole trigger word in that was again. The whole trigger word was again. Make America Great was not the whole purpose. To make America as it was again. That's all it is. So in other words, the real interpretation of that is make America as it was. Make America as it was again. Make America again. Where everybody was submitted to the white man. See, these type of people, you gotta understand them. They're not the typical racists. They just feel that America should consist of white man up here and all the rest of you down there. Soon as you rise up and say, hey, wait, hold up. And you want to go up higher, no, they're like, no. No, you're down there. We're not racist, but you're supposed to be over there. You're supposed to be sitting out here eating club sandwiches in Lower Manhattan on a patio. You don't supposed to be down here. You see how some white people act when you order food in certain places. Like, what are you doing here? How did you make it here? There's a black person in the air. Hold our noses. Hold our noses. We definitely don't want to smell their farts. They can't even stand your smell. Look how they be looking. Look how they be looking. You think they want you downtown in Lower Manhattan down there eating on the patio, eating a club sandwich on the patio? You think they want you down there? They don't want you involved in their community. They don't want you here. Okay? The whole reason you have the cost of living, hear this part. You got the cost of living and minimum wage. These are where the racist people act out. Now, like I said, black people don't, the white people don't, it's a certain type of white people. It's a division of white people, racist white people. Some want you up here, they want white people up here. They want you down there. They don't want you over there eating club sandwiches on the patio in Lower Manhattan. Okay? That's a type of racist white people. I'm going to do a whole video about it. Okay? Now, you have cost of living and minimum wage. Now, you can't be slow following me. Now, how's the racist man, how is he going to manipulate a country now that likes black people, enjoys their culture, enjoys their music, enjoys all these actors, black actors and black actresses? How is a white racist going to manipulate as a neo-white racist these days? Huh? Where everybody, even white people, are going to see these movies where there's black superheroes and little black kids and all type of things in these so-called white movies or American movies. They're all sprinkled in there now. And they can't stand it. So how can they manipulate? They tried to manipulate through Donald Trump. This is what this is all about. This is what this is all about. It was the last stand of the white man to be on top. Ow. I'm going to do a video about that too. Now, cost of living, live in minimum wage, and living wage. Three dynamics. Cost of living, minimum wage, and a living wage. Most of the Black American community for many decades have not had a living wage. A living wage is enough money for you to go and rent an apartment or rent a condo or rent a townhouse or pay a mortgage monthly on a house. This is a living wage. If you are making any type of money in your metropolis that you live in or where you live, where you cannot go and purchase or, I'll say purchase a house, I'll go all the way to the top. Purchase a house, mortgage, rent of any sort of kind. If you cannot pay for rent with your job specifically, if your job is not enough money by every pay period for you to pay for rent, then you are not making a living wage according to your surrounding area. If you're not making a living wage, then what are you doing? Think about it now. What are you doing this is why I'm not a patriot. Now you see why? If you are not making a living wage, now I gotta do a video just about the living wage because some people just don't get it. All you talk about is cost of living and minimum wage. Let's talk about a living wage and how African Americans and non-white people have not had a living wage for decades. You just now getting it to the point because now they know people are more intelligent and seek them out and research things. That's why the pressure's on them to do all these things now. But before you were educated and you were just glad to be alive, that's all you cared about. You were not making a living wage. Which means the job that you worked could not purchase a house and you could not pay rent at an apartment or a townhouse or a condo or whatever, et cetera, et cetera. You could not pay yourself with your job, not two people together, your job only. Your job was not sufficient enough to pay for rent. So back to what I said, what is the person doing in that case? You are just working for a company. Guess what that means? You're a slave. It's sad. It's sad because I had to get this. And so this is a form of racism. This is what the new neo-white racists do now. They make it to where half of Black people aren't even getting a living wage. You don't think they know you can't afford to pay rent? You don't think they know you can't afford to pay a mortgage in their neighborhoods and be in their neighborhoods? This is how they separate themselves from you. This is the new segregation. The new segregation is manipulating the cost of living wage and minimum wage. That's the new way of racism. Poverty is part of that. Poverty is part of that. Okay? Because they can't be detected for hating you for the color of your skin out in the world in corporate America. So what they have to do is manipulate minimum wage, living wage, and cost of living. This is why I am not a patriot, because I understand all these things. You just running around like a teenager buying snacks with you don't got a living wage. You just happen to be working and when you get paid, you go buy pizzas to go back to your mom's house. You go buy pizzas to go to your cousin's house. You go buy pizzas to be with your brother and sister. Like you balling. But at the end of the day, your job is not a living wage. According to the metropolis you live in, this is how they manipulate. Then tell me why they ain't changed it when it's common sense that if I work this job, I'm not going to be able to live anywhere. Then what's the purpose of working then? You're working for a corporation. That's it. They expect you to try to get with somebody else subconsciously and get a roommate and get with your family and live with your family like a whole bunch of slaves in one house. Think about it. That's basically what they think they're insinuating. Go live with your family. Go live with your family like a big old house slave, a whole bunch of houses, a house of slaves. Go live with your family. They listen. I guarantee you, they're making sure white people ain't in no situations like this. This is how you know perspective of many white Americans. Because when white people are in poverty, what do they call them? What do they call white people that's in poverty, that live in trailer parks? What do they call them? White trash. And why are they trash? Is it because how they look? Is it because of how they think? Or is it because of their moral system? Their moral compass? The way they choose to go morally? Their value systems? The foundation reason why they call their counterparts, the white people that are in poverty, trash, is because of poverty. They call them trash because they live in poverty. So what does that tell you how they think of you? You see what I'm saying? You're living in poverty, they think you're trash too. Well, look what they say to their own people. Black people didn't start that term, right or wrong. Did black people start white trash term? Did people that live in poverty that's white call themselves white trash? They do now. They pride themselves on it now. Like black people pride themselves on being on the word nigga, but the white people that's living in poverty start the word white trash, the term white trash? They did not. They did not start that term. Racist people looked at their counterparts, the part of their tribe that was in poverty, and called them white trash. This tells you everything you need to know of how they feel about humanity that's in poverty. They feel like you all are trash if you're in poverty. You are trash. That's how they feel. And they telling themselves about how they, with this term. Okay, you don't call nobody else trash, but you're comfortable enough with your own people to call them trash. And now we see how you feel about people in poverty in general. Because these are the people that's controlling your country, making up these terms. It wasn't some wayward dummy that probably made that term up. Oh, come on now. So it was some wayward person that looked over there and said, oh, those are white trash people. Look at the perspective in itself. Not considering that family may have not put themselves in that situation. But you overlooked that part and still called them white trash, which is the perspective of white supremacists. You don't know if they put themselves there, you don't know if they what kind of situation they might be in. You don't know. They may be disabled, they may be crippled or something like that, and they can't do things that you do, and that's why they're there. For whatever reason, mental sickness or whatever. And all of these different scenarios are overlooked, and they call their own people white trash. So see, they ain't even for their own people, really. I know it gets tricky, don't it? They'll leave their own people behind when you ain't got enough. When you don't got enough status symbols. You ain't got enough Gucci, Louis Vuitton. You ain't got enough this, you ain't got enough that. They'll leave you behind. So if they feel that way about their own people, watch white people. Look how they look down on people that don't have this, that, or the third. So how you think they feel about you? Oh, they act like a sympathist, like, oh, we feel so sorry for them. But meanwhile, you see the truth about how they feel with how they act about other people that don't have things. Mm-hmm. Oh, they just ain't gonna be vocal about it with you. Oh yeah, I know I'm right. And so cost of living is how they manipulate. This is how they manipulate. You wonder why I ain't a patriot. And I done a video on this. Cost of living, a living wage, and minimum wage. Minimum wage, look how low it's been. All in the 70s and 80s. The 60s, the 70s, and 80s. Look at that. Look how low it was. Everywhere. $7 an hour all across the country. All down in Florida, all down in North Carolina. $7 an hour, $8 an hour. That was minimum wage back in the 90s. Back in the 90s. Minimum wage, I remember because I was working. Minimum wage was between $7 and $8 in North Carolina and Charlotte. And look, Charlotte is a great metropolis. That's where I'm from. The minimum wage there was $7 and $8. $7.50 to $8 something. And you don't think all these white folks with millions and trillions of dollars knew that ain't no way in the world they can afford to get their own apartment and things like that and strive with the minimum wage being at between $7 and $8. And minimum wage basically, listen to this part, basically covers the average job you go to. That's what it covers. Just in case you don't really realize what minimum wage is all about, or the dynamics of it, or the wiring of it. The wiring of it is basically, this covers the average job you can get down the street somewhere. It's going to fall in the bracket of minimum wage. The average job somewhere is going to be a minimum wage job. It's not going to be, oh, this job just has to be $20 an hour. This job happens to just be $30 an hour right there on the block. You can make $30 an hour right there. Out of nowhere. In your city, you just gonna go down to this block and you find out they giving people $30 an hour. Sorry to tell you that most of these jobs are going to fall in the bracket of minimum wage. This is why it's important. All these hordes and hordes of corporations and jobs, all these fast food places, all them places that you can just go apply and get the job, right? Boom. That's in your community. They made sure you wouldn't be able to go somewhere, you wouldn't be able to get rent, pay for rent in jobs that's in your community, because most of them jobs fall in the bracket of minimum wage. This is why they monitor minimum wage. This is why the racists watched it and manipulated it. Now you understand. You was looking for them to call you a nigga. They just said, I'll keep you broke. I'll keep you broke just like your ancestors. I'll keep you broke just like your ancestors. That's what I'll do. Yeah, go ahead and pride yourself on being in the ghetto. Put the tattoos on you and everything, because that's where you're going to be at. That's your slave plantation. You might as well put the tattoos on you. You might as well take pride in it, because it ain't nothing but a plantation. That's where you're going to be. You might as well take pride in it. You might as well take pride in it, because that's all the place you're going to be. And so they laugh at you when you put all these neighborhoods on you. No disrespect. You put Compton all on your back and all of that. You put Brooklyn all on you. All of these are plantations that you never leave. How come you ain't left Compton yet then? How come you ain't left Brooklyn yet? How come you ain't left Harlem yet? Because these are, listen, they have manipulated also for you to take pride in the plantation. Boy, that's a 7 hour. They take pride in, they want you to take pride in the plantation, so you stay there. That's what all this cultural pride about all these neighborhoods that you so dearly love, that's what it's all about culturally speaking. To influence you to embrace the plantation. Now you get it. And all the tats that you got on you and all on your neck, that ain't nothing but markings of the slave plantation. Tell him where you come from. Well, we know he's from Compton. Big fat police who arrest you. Well, we know he's from Compton. Look at there. Look at there. Look at that big tattoo. He's from Compton. It should make you despise. It should make your lips snarl. Big fat cops talking about, well, we know he's from Harlem. See all them tattoos on. Well, we know he's from Brooklyn. It's on his face. Man, you know some cats out there got, especially the wannabes, they got tattoos on their face of Brooklyn here, Brooklyn all on their forehead and everything. Brooklyn all on their face. The area code. Come on, listen, man, I wasn't born yesterday. What is it? What's the area code for Brooklyn? One of them is 347, ain't it? I think. Well, either way it go, whatever the area codes for all these places, Harlem and all of that, they got it all on their face and everything. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but markets of the slave plantations. Well, how come you can't get out of it then? How come in the area that you living in, they got the minimum wage so low that you can't go get your own place or even have the thought of coming out of Harlem or the thought of coming out of Compton or the thought of coming out of these places? How come you can't come out of them then? Then they are plantations. They are places to store you, however you want to look at it. You think they're going to just put up this big minimum wage, and then you just hop over here to their neighborhood? Hey, how you doing? Well, I just purchased this place over here. You know you trying to be a little proper because it's white people. Well, I just purchased this place. How you doing? You know you put your white voice on. How you doing? Yeah, I just wanted to purchase this place, and everything went through. You out there in the yard talking to them, huh? You know that, listen, they don't got no intentions for minimum wage to be so high that you just bounce into their neighborhood. Minimum wage, cost of living, a living wage is all manipulation for segregation reasons. To keep you over here and over there. You explain it any other way with all this money. They got millions and trillions of dollars, but they can't put the cost of living down. They can't put the cost of living down. They can't put minimum wage up and the living wage up. They can't put the minimum wage to meet the cost of living. They can't put the minimum wage to be able to meet the cost of living, meaning the prices of rent in your area. They can't make the minimum wage collaborate with that, coordinate with that. So why minimum wage don't coordinate with the cost of living in your community? Boy, that's a 7 hour. Tell me why minimum wage makes sense of it to, as far as governors, mayors, and politicians, make sense of the fact. Tell me, how does it make sense by these people supposed to be smarter than me, right? So how come you got minimum wage right here that doesn't collaborate with cost of living, which is the ultimate goal of any human being to work, is to have their own place? How come these politicians, including Obama, has not talked in plain English about living wage, cost of living, and minimum wage? How come this is not the greatest conversation of all these politicians, including Obama? That wasn't his greatest conversation. That was not his greatest conversation. His greatest conversation was Obamacare. That was Obama's greatest conversation. Right or wrong? Oh, come on, man. That's a 7 hour. Obama's greatest conversation was Obamacare. Right or wrong? Come on, man. You don't know about nothing else about his politics, but you know about that, don't you? You know about that, don't you? And half of y'all being black, you ain't even sick like that. Come on, man. You healthy as an ox. Listen, come on. Your thighs weigh about 8 pounds. Your thighs alone weigh 8 pounds apiece. You listen. You ain't go down to the ER the whole Obama administration and all this hoopla about Obamacare. This whole administration. Did you go to the hospital? You didn't, did you? None of these politicians, their greatest conversation has never been in plain English. They speak English. This is the main language here. But yet, when you listen to them, do it sound like English? That's another video I'm gonna do. Do it sound like English when you listen to these politicians on TV? Think about what I'm saying. It don't sound like English, do it? You listen to a whole bunch of stuff, but it don't sound like it's comprehending, right? Because those are Jedi mind tricks. That's what it is. And they've never had the plain English conversation of cost of living, minimum wage, and a living wage. This is what the Americans have wanted all this time. Simplistic conversations in English from these politicians. And you didn't get it, did you? You never got it, did you? That's what I'm trying to show you. It's all Jedi mind tricks and manipulation. And you just standing there listening to live on TV, you listen to all these people, and they never tell you anything about the cost of living, living wage, and minimum wage. They never address it, do they? And guess what? When they start talking about all these jobs that they just added to the workforce, you got to hear this part too. Because that's your next thought gonna be like, well, they always adding jobs. Okay, let's talk about the jobs they always add. These jobs they always adding, can you agree that if the presidents know about and politicians know about these added jobs, can you agree these ain't no rinky-dink jobs? Can you agree that these jobs probably got how many people applying for that same opening? 1 million people applying for that same opening. Okay, these are jobs that the president know about. You think that it ain't 1 million people that, because those same specific jobs, 30,000, 300,000, whatever it may be, you don't think the class of those jobs are jobs that require trades and degrees, and 1 million people are applying for them same jobs on top of that? Of course. Of course. See, the Jedi mind trick is, and you wonder why I don't like America. The Jedi mind trick is, we just added 30,000 jobs. And you thinking subconsciously, hear this part. I'm gonna do a video about this. You thinking subconsciously, I can go down the street and get a job now. They got more jobs. That's how we thinking from the hood. When they tell you, listen closely to what I'm saying and pay attention to what I'm saying. When they tell you they added 300,000 jobs, politician tell you, whoever tells you, whether it's a mayor, governor, president, vice president, whoever it is, senators, all that in-between stuff, all politicians telling you, we just added 300,000 jobs. You know what you're thinking. You know what Big Pookie is thinking. I can go down the street. And go get this. Now that they got 300,000 jobs added to the workforce, there should be some job openings around here. When you heard them say that, did you ever go down and hear about people talking about it's openings over here and they hiring over here? You never heard that, did you? Although they said 300,000 jobs was added. Did you go and talk to your uncle and he talking about they hiring over here? Did you go talk to anybody and it was a difference in the climate of job openings? There was no difference, right? That's what I'm saying. These jobs are, some would say, for white people. Because it requires trades and degrees, which many times we as black people, on the average, collectively, we do not have no trades. We do not have no degrees. So it falls right, all these hundreds of thousands of jobs falls right in the hands of white people. Therefore, basically, these jobs added to the workforce takes care of white people. Because you can't tell me that means them jobs they talking about that's added is jobs down at 7-Eleven. Them openings don't even register to the politicians. That's a 7 hour. Those jobs don't even come up on their list. Who cares if it's an opening at McDonald's? They don't care about that. They talking about these jobs. The only thing that shows up on their list is jobs that, think about it, it's jobs that require trades and degrees. That's the jobs come up before them. They had 1,000 jobs at McDonald's. Now that would be a good politician. But how can they really? Now you see what I'm saying? When McDonald's always got a full house, for the most part. So how can they really add average jobs? Here's this part. When half of the jobs that's average in your neighborhoods, it's already full house. So how can they add to it? Make it make sense. How can they add to most of these jobs where everybody's desperate and most of these people are at the jobs? So they're not adding to full house jobs. On the average, you can't tell me these 300,000 jobs is jobs that were added to full house stores. They have full house, but we added 300,000 jobs to them. We added 300,000 openings to full house stores all across the country. They got full house. They're employed. They have enough employees, but we're gonna add 300,000 jobs to it. That's what I'm trying to show you, man. Those jobs you don't even see. But the Jedi mind trick is this. Oh, you can go down and get a job now. You can go get a job now. Oh, they just told you. You subconsciously think. Oh, it's more jobs in the country now. Not for you. Not if you ain't got no trading degree, which half of you do not. Half of you do not have no trades or degrees. So all them jobs you can't even get. Therefore, they don't apply to you. Therefore, they don't apply to half of these people collectively in poverty communities. Though none of them jobs they add, therefore, applies to you are for you. Therefore, there are no jobs for you. And the jobs that are for you, half of them haven't been meeting up or collaborating with the cost of living. This is how they've been manipulating and you haven't been paying attention because half of y'all been just glad to be working. You know how we are as black people? We applied 1 million jobs in our neighborhoods. First thing a black person do, this is what I do. I'm just speak for me. Because I know you think like I think. You got to do, half of you do. I'm going to apply for the jobs right near my area. The most convenient jobs, that's what I'm going to do. The jobs that I want, the jobs that's in my area, the department stores, fast food, I'm going to go put in all them applications all around and wait and see what happens. And then, if that don't work out, then I'm going to go across town. Come on, man. You telling the truth, man. Come on, you know I am. That's what you need to say. He telling the truth. You going to go across town after your side of town don't work out because you really don't want to work across town. You just feel it's more convenient for you. You want walking distance. You thinking about a comfortable route to work first. As a black man, first thing I'm thinking about is a comfortable route to work. Okay, if I get a job in this area, boom, I'm just right down the street. Two or three blocks, boom. I ain't got to worry about catching no buses, being late and all of that. I can wake up when I want to. I ain't got to jump up and catch some bus or something or catch some train. Look, I'm right here. 3 blocks down, boom. That's the first thing we do, right? Then if that don't work out, then you go across town. Now you're looking for jobs across town. And even then, you're still selective. You're still thinking what's convenient for you. Okay, that's what you're doing. That's all you're doing. That's your job search. That's what most of us are gonna do. And most of those jobs are going to be jobs that are minimum wage, that you cannot go and you cannot go and purchase a house or get rent or mortgage or anything. That's going to be that's basically the job that you're going to get. Okay? Because that's in your area. It's all designed as a war tactic. All this is in your area, and everything that you apply for is not going to get you out. It's not going to get you out your mama's house. It's not going to get you out your daddy's house. So even in your best efforts, most of us in our best efforts, we do not get free. That's what it is. That's how it is. And by now, you would think, with all this money, how come the cost of living, the minimum wage and all of that is like it is? How come it's like it is? Why is it like that? It's in all this money they got, how come they couldn't change it? And you want me to tell you what the solution is? Because I offer solutions. The difference between me and the counterparts of those who talk about minister and people who are activists and things like that, I have solutions. I don't just talk about the problems. Listen to me closely, all my stuff closely. I'm always talking about solutions. I'm always talking about the solutions to the problems. Okay, I'm not going to say it every time, but you got to pay attention. I'm not going to say, now this is the solution. I'm not going to say that. Or these are the answers. You got to pay attention. And the answer is, and the solutions are, for minimum wage, cost of living, and living wage, the solutions are this. All of this money that these government people have, all these politicians, all the money that they have, all these trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that they have, right? All of it some of it can be used to collaborate a financial corporation with the landowners and the landlords. They should have built as a country that's taking care of you. They should have taken care of you as their citizens. You can't do it all, can you? All you can do is work. You can't do it all. I gotta do a video about that. You can't go in Washington and fix all this stuff. All you can do is work. That's all you can do. It's their responsibility, man. I'm gonna tell you the exact answer, and listen closer. I speak in plain English. I speak in plain English. Great minds break everything down simple. People that deceive people speak in terms and terminologies in key words. That's deception. Those are deceiving leaders. A real leader that loves you is going to break it down so that you get it. People that speak over your head and all these terms, this is who you respect because of the big terms, and they have no intentions of helping you. What they should have done is taken and made a real business corporation, a mammoth business corporation that is able to collaborate with landowners, landlords, and people who are businesses for the mortgages. They supposed to pay them enough money being keepers of their citizens. This is why you pay the people that's helping your people. You pay the people that's helping the landlords. That's helping your citizens. You pay the landlords that's helping your citizens. You pay these landowners and these people who are the businesses for mortgages. You pay them for helping your people. They haven't done this, have they? And then that's simple, ain't it? It's simple, ain't it? That's simple, ain't it? Because when they pay them, it drops all cost of living. Now you see what I'm saying? That's it. That's all it is. It's that simple. Great minds have learned to break things down simple. See, a complex person can say, look, I'll do it like that. I'll show you just like this. Here, look, boom. There you go, ow. A great mind can do that. They've been telling you great minds talk all these philosophies and this and that and this and that. A great mind is saying, look, I can break it down like this. Look, boom. There you go, Al. And so this is what they didn't do. They didn't take and make a bridge between the government and the landowners and the landlords all across your country. They did not collaborate with them and build a $1 trillion business of them giving trillions of dollars to them. Yes. You're taking care of you're taking care of the citizens, the American citizens. You're taking care of the American citizens. Watch you. It should cost you trillions, right or wrong, to where the cost of living is down, so they can go work somewhere and be good and live somewhere. You want your people taken care of. You want them in a residence. This is how you know they don't care. If they had cared, they would have been made a business. I'm talking about a significant business. Of course, there's some business. Of course, there's some. I'm talking about a simple mammoth business that simply gives money to landowners and landlords and mortgage business, people who the business is over mortgages. That's all they had to do. But this shows you it's been manipulators the whole time. That's why it hasn't happened. Because the bottom line why it hasn't happened, because it's been deceivers among you, stealing from you, stealing from the community, making you slaves. That's the real reason why it hasn't been done. They probably thought about this. They at least thought that the cost of living should be collaborating with minimum wage. Any fool knows that. Well, how are you going to pay for something when you can't? How are you going to pay for a place, an apartment when you can't pay for it? And you don't think all these business accountants and all of these people, all these universities and people that come from college university, you don't think they had the grand thought that I've had and come to the epiphany that they need to change the cost of living to where it makes sense with minimum wage, to where now the minimum wage, because of cost of living being brought down, is now a living wage. And all of you are sitting around like numbers. That's all it is. See, God's true people do this. Because see, God's true people save humanity for real. And so for all you people that talking about you don't deal with politics, guess what? That's how I know you ain't really close to God, because God will begin to lead you to what saves humanity. That's the 7th hour. Because this is back to politics, my friend. This is back to politics. And all you doing is talking about pro-black this and pro-America this and that. And guess what? Meanwhile, cost of living is crazy and minimum wage is crazy and living wage is crazy. And all you are doing is getting views on YouTube and views everywhere else. And really it's just people that like to be followed. It's people that want to be leaders. You don't have no answers or solutions either. I just showed you the full solution to this situation. This is intellectual property. You don't think I know that? That's why I know I deserve a bag. Because have anybody broke this down in plain English to you? Who has? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not being prideful. I'm bold. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as lions. That's my foundation for it. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as lions. That's what my Bible tells me. You got this synthetic humility that comes to nothing. You talking about be humble. What does that lead to? You being quiet and not saying nothing and being a slave somewhere. That's what it leads to. What has it led to? What has your synthetic humility led to? Only people that changed this country were bold people. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. They were bold. Okay? You talking about synthetic humility, which is not real humility, when you walk around quietly and sheepishly smiling. That's what you talking about. Because you're not used to bold people, because your community, your government and culture has influenced you to be, as a community, a synthetic, humble people. That's all it is. Go look up biblical humility. That's what you need to do. Yeah, because I ain't on that humble that you on, buddy. You on synthetic slave humbleness. That's what you on when you ain't talking and when people playing with you and you a man of God and you're a woman of God. I don't care who it is. You're not finna play with me, bro. That's simple as that. That's simple as that. The Bible says the righteous are as bold as lions. That's what they are. Okay? That's what it is. That's what it is. And you can sit back and these critics are looking to criticize anyway. So as soon as you hear me talk like this now, because you're so docile of a country and nice to a fault, and humble, a synthetic humble, that's slavery, humility, you sit back and you criticize how I'm talking instead of looking at the facts of what I'm talking about. This is how ADD these people are. You got attention deficit. You paying attention to the wrong stuff. You paying attention to the wrong things. Listen to what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying. That's the deception, is to watch people behaviorally, but not listen to what they're talking about. I don't care how angry you are. If you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. I'm listening to that. That's how mature of a man that I am. If I don't listen, I've been all around the country. I done seen some real tough guys, man. Los Angeles, New York, everywhere. Okay? I done lived in Los Angeles, on the streets. Okay? And so I can see a person arguing or talking, and if they making some good points, that's what I'm listening to. I don't care what it is. I don't care how angry that person is. They can be throwing chairs through windows. But if they making sense, I'm going to sit there and be looking. I'm like, yeah, but he right about it. He throwing a chair in the window, but man, he right on about what he's saying, though. He's absolutely right. And as a matter of fact, I'm not even going to think about the chair thrown through the window. I'm going to think about what he's saying. I'm going to walk away thinking about what he's saying. I ain't going to think nothing about the window. Because it's common sense for people to get angry. It's common sense why you focused on that like you simple. Well, look how angry he is. How simple are you? You must be a simpleton. You're a simp. That's what you are, because you're focused on like some stuff that nobody else will be focused. We focused on what he's saying. You got cost of living out the roof. That's why you can't live in nowhere like San Francisco. You can't live anywhere like what was another one? Here in New York too. You can't go down there and get no penthouse or nothing. You know why? The cost of living is too crazy. And look, that's how they keep you out their neighborhoods. And you supposed to be a patriot for this. So I just said that. So see, that's why the Holy Ghost led me to go through all these things. So now you see why I am not a patriot. Because look at this country. Okay? So white people don't be simple. Don't be a simp. White people that's sitting up, propped up, eating bacon club sandwiches down on Lower Manhattan on a patio right now. Of course, they're going to be happy. Wouldn't you be? They live in a fairyland almost. Eating fairy bread. They're eating fairy bread. Living in a fairyland where they go to patios and they got lights that look like sparkles above the patio. Ow. They live in a fairyland almost, where they can go to the nearest clubs and the nearest bars and the eateries, and they live in this little safe life. You know what, if you lived anywhere, you know what I'm talking about? Go right down the block, go get a bottle of wine, go to Whole Foods, and go get the quality foods while you eat fast food, because that's all you can afford. Even on DoorDash, you're still getting fast food. They go on DoorDash, they get the best of everything. They go on DoorDash, they don't even go to McDonald's. They go to DoorDash, they go get all kind of stuff like all these organic grapes and organic spinach and organic soups. You can barely afford a Chef Boyardee. So you get a cheeseburger and that's it. Oh, hey. You telling me you ain't never ordered DoorDash and you just got a cheeseburger? I did that in San Francisco. I called, I couldn't get nothing but 2 cheeseburgers. sometimes one, on DoorDash. And you trying to find which one you can get with your money you got. And you keep going back and you can't get that one, no, because the whole total come out and you can't get it. So you got to go back and try another one. Okay, you can get that one. Listen, white people go in there and go get organic everything. Organic water even. They spit out organic water for fun in their neighborhoods. Oh, I'm lying about it. They spit out strawberry wine, cherry wine. They spit it out on their blocks for fun. Oh, you ain't never seen arrogant white people like that? They just do it because they can. Some people just throw a whole cake out there because they can, just for the laughs. Just for the laughs. Look what I did. Bruh. Oh my God, you're crazy. Let's see what happens when a car run over this cake. Bruh. They can't see it in the dark. Let's just stand here. Hand me my wine. Hand me a cigarette. We're going to stand here. We're going to wait till the first car runs over the cake and see how it looks. Meanwhile, your kids are begging for cake. Mommy, I have nothing sweet to eat. Kids have to have something sweet. It's psychological. They do. You can't give kids all salty food. You got to give them, I don't care if it's little candies or something, they have to have something sweet, right? Meanwhile, people in white neighborhoods will sit and throw a whole cake, sit and smoke cigarettes and drink wine and watch the first car smash the cake and see how it looks on their tires and everything. And probably take pictures of it and videos. And you think I should be a patriot? Of course they're going to be a patriot doing something in their own little world like that. They live in, you see that fairyland they live in where they can throw cakes on the streets and watch cars ride over? Pretty sure somebody here done that. Wouldn't be far-fetched. How wasting they are, how they just do stuff to do stuff. Okay, and that's why they're a patriot. That's what I'm trying to show you. And they're joining you to it so they can keep doing what they're doing. But you're not doing it though. So all you become is a laborer for the patriots to stay propped up. You're not propped up, are you? Are you on pedestals? No, you're not. You're not on pedestals, but you're supporting and laboring for people that are. See, what you need is Karens from the black side. Boom, ow. That's what you need. You need a Karen from the black side. You got Karens from the white side, they already got stuff. Make that make sense. Because they feel as white Americans, oh, I should get the best of service. Don't you know I'm white? Don't you know we run this country? I should have the best of service. You can't be kidding me. This is my money. Yet, meanwhile, they'll go throw a cake on the streets. That's their money too. That's the hypocrisy in the situation, how much they waste. Oh, they waste all the time. They do crazy stuff. You know what I'm talking about. They do crazy stuff, wasting all the time for fun. That's a society that many of you don't even know about. And of course, they're going to be, when you be a patriot in that situation, think about it. Would you be? Wouldn't you be a patriot? Of course you would. It's like Disneyland for white people here. And that's why they're still racist, because it could have been more of a Disneyland if you wasn't here. Boom, out. All these neighborhoods that you call black neighborhoods, guess what? That could have been white neighborhoods too. This neighborhood you living in, this could have been a white neighborhood. And guess what? In fact, I guarantee you, if you go back far enough, this neighborhood, Jackson Heights, was a white neighborhood. Or I could look at the houses and tell, oh, those wasn't built for no black people. All these houses down here on Jackson, on Astoria and 94th, all back there, you think they were built for black people? Man, come on, man. This was a white neighborhood and you came here and they moved out. That's the whole movement of America. If the blacks move in, we move out. There goes the neighborhood. That's a racist term in itself. Oh, you looked over it, didn't you? Because you thought it was troublesome people. You think it started with troublesome people? Or it started with people that were just black? There goes the neighborhood. They messed up our white land, our white fairyland. See, I don't have no problem with living with other people as long as you act high quality and professional. If you're ignorant, I do not want to share my space with you. And it's not because you're black, and it's not because you're Hispanic or Latino. Look at your behavior. That's what I'm saying. Look at your behavior. That's what separates me from white people. White people don't want you there because you're black, because you're Hispanic and Latino, and they don't want your culture there. They don't want you there, your people there. The difference between me and them, I don't want to be around ignorant people. That's my thing. Listen, man. I done been around sophisticated everything. Sophisticated thugs, intelligent gangsters, and that. It's not a matter of street life. It's a matter of quality versus low quality. This is why you have some people who are street thugs and you have some people that are the mob. Listen, you can't be the mob, unintelligent, walk around here ignorant, walk around here unprofessional, walk around here low quality. You cannot be the mob that way. This explains why black people really didn't never have a mob. You didn't really never have a real mob that had chapters from city to city because we were not professional. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. You look at every other race. The Chinese got a mafia, right or wrong. The Russians got a mafia. The Italians got a mafia. The Irish got a mafia. The Jamaicans got a mafia. The Haitians even have a mafia, I believe. Black people don't have a mafia because they pride themselves on being ratchet. And you think that means you're a gangster, and I can show you gangsters that are not ratchet. It's called the mob. That's what it's called. Gangsters that are not ratchet and thugs that are not ratchet are called the mob. Boy, that's good. That's a 7 hour. Yeah. But see, what they taught you to be is low level, right? And take pride in being ratchet. Take pride in being violent, doing petty crimes instead of big crimes to make money. And that's how they kept you low. That's part of the racism too. Because if you listen, boy, this is good. I can run around this whole city. If you were professional and created a mob, they would have been let you go as a whole black community. Boy, that's good. Woo! Woo! If you had a black mob, boy, that's good. I gotta do a video on that. Not that I'm condoning it, but it's reality. If you had a mob, they would have had to take you seriously. They would have been took you seriously. Besides these rich, famous people, they would have had to take you seriously. All in the law system, all in these places, all with the police and all of that. Because the black mob would have put pressure on police included. They would have started knocking off the police. They would have started knocking off these wayward police stations. And so they kept you, they influenced you to think that being gangster, that's how they got you. They even got you in the crime world. Boy, man, that's a 7 hour. They got you because, oh, you can be a gangster, you can be ratchet, go ahead and be ratchet. Get crunk. Turn up. Turn up. Go ahead, smoke that weed. Turn up. Drink, turn up. Meanwhile, while you turning up, that's all the whole community doing. And the real mobs are close to it are nothing but violent, even more dangerous, ratchet people with ratchetness. That's all it is. It's just the higher you go up with so-called big boy gangsters and all of that, all they are is a little more sophisticated in their ratchetness. Most of them. Not all of them. But there are some that feel the need to be black excellence. But see, they don't get taken seriously. You know what happens with the lower level people? You think that person's soft, don't you? And they can kill you way quicker than you can kill them. They could put what? They could put 50,000 on your head and it's over. I'm sure somebody take that $50,000 and kill you. Easy. Some people do it for 1,000. Some people do it for $1,000. How they look at it, hey, that's money I didn't have. As long as I can get away with it. Okay? So you telling me they can't give somebody $500,000, $500,000 and kill you? And that's the same person you taking as soft. That's the same person you taking as, oh, that person, look, he a sucker. Look how he out of touch. He ain't out here in these streets like we are. He ain't out here like we are. He ain't out here like we are. Yeah. He ain't out here. Yeah. Man, I'd rob him if I could. I'd rob him. Meanwhile, he done caught wind of that. And he done put $500,000 on your whole family. On your whole family. Now you got operations against your family. Because you want to be ratchet, you want to play with the big dogs. It's the same thing with me, man. People that want to play with me, listen, man. I don't go about it that way. I go about it by spiritual means, and look what happens. I'm taking care of my business. You took me as soft. And look what happens, though, at the end of the day. Oh, it don't look strange to you. Oh, you must don't got spiritual eyes to see and spiritual ears to hear, do you? This is why we could never have a mob. Because as soon as we get a big boy, everybody want to rob him. Everybody want to challenge him. In that order. In that order. In that order. You want to rob the guy. You want to challenge him and see if you more thuggish than he are. And you can't prove it unless you got the same results. Who cares if you act more thuggish? Who cares about that? That's what I'm saying. Some of y'all still in high school because you care about how it appears. Like you in high school. Oh, he seemed more thuggish. That's a thug right there. Who cares? Who cares? This other guy's getting it done. At the end of the day, he's getting it done. And you act like you stuck in high school like suckers and chicken heads, going by appearances of gangsters, going by what appears to be a thug. Boy, that's good. That's 7 hour. And this is why we never had chapters of a real mob because of our own ratchetness. This is why. This is explain it any other way. Especially when we being persecuted and we get prosecuted. Okay? Explain why in the middle of that no one came up with the grand idea to start a mob. A real mob. Not one organization like Black Mafia Family. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about chapters and chapters of it. Of the same thing. The same thing that communicates with each other. How come they ain't never happened? Because America made sure it didn't happen. And how they made sure it didn't happen was they beat you into submission. That's first. To where you feel like you couldn't do nothing. Every time you start an organization, what they do? Shut it down. And they made you feel like ratchetness is gangster. They projected these images to you through rap music. Rap music, I have to be 100. From the beginning, it influenced us away from having a black mob because most black guys were concerned with being ratchet. I go out here and shoot somebody in the head, yeah. You don't know me. Don't try me. I go out here and start shooting. And you prided yourself on that for how many decades? That same mentality. And nobody in the rap music, most of them did not project mob mentality. No, most of them did not. Listen to them. It's not mob mentality, is it? Now you got some rappers that insinuate mob mentality. But for the most part, though, collectively speaking, hip hop never, they talked about street life. They talked about street life. But here's what happened. They did not elevate to the point where, okay, this is how we've been, but let us be this way. Okay, we got the goods to be gangsters. Now let's take it to another level. Let's take it to this level where now we're using the muscle of being a gangster to do this and do that and to